I'm the motherfucking rookie of the year.
Let's talk about rap music.
Okay.
Because that's what I'm here. Can you tell me the first rap verse that who traumatized you when you listen to that verse? You were like, that's what I want to do in my life.
The first. Well,
do you remember it?
What? Let me see. Hold on. Let me think. From my first favorite rap songs. Well, who I honestly think is one of the best rappers ever. Maybe not contemporarily, but is like the reason that I became a rapper would probably be like I would have to say Ghostface Killer.
From the 8th floor step, hit the ground.
Of course.
Like
it's still contemporary.
I don't want to get into people lately. You can't say anything about anybody who like used to make music.
Don't action Brooks.
I know. I won't say anything.
Who gives you the right to even mention my name out your motherfucking mouth?
No, but like it's just like I mean those Ghostface albums are just like that is like you cannot get better storytelling.
He's like, one of the best.
Yeah, like literally like one of the best rappers. Like and making up slang and words and like I don't know like.
What's the first Ghostface verse that you love? Do you remember it or not?
Everybody talking about Wu-Tang Front, but you still telling lies to me. Because I also love Jadakiss. Because I think I love Jadakiss.
It's that real. Yo, why is Jadakiss as hard as it gets? Why is the industry designed to keep the artists in debt? And why them dudes ain't riding if they party is set? And why they never get it popping but they party to death?
Oh, but my favorite, no. Yeah, my favorite, actually, this is actually my favorite rap song of all time and my favorite rap lyrics of all time. I love the Jay-Z song, Politics as Usual.
I had to talk to myself, hope you used to. It's politics as usual.
I love, like everything that song says, the swag in that song, the beat in that song. Politics as Usual is my favorite.
Do you realize that you're more hardcore than all the hardcore rappers?
I bite the head off the heartbeats. Eat these bitches alive, no wanna. DJ, prime club minister. Play my track, cause the beat is sinister. Gonna play me? Let me dominate on every hating motherfucker watching. Let me dominate on every basic bitch that try to stop me.
I really don't think there's still like a hardcore, female voice out there other than Nicki Minaj's. I mean, Nicki Minaj is like Nicki Minaj, so like that's like kind of incomparable, like mega mogul. Like I mean, Nicki Minaj is one of the best rappers ever.
I never fucked Wayne, I never fucked Drake. All my life, man, fuck's sake. If I did, I menage with him and let him eat my ass like a cupcake.
What's your favorite Nicki Minaj punchline?
God, what is my favorite Nicki Minaj? Let me think. What did she say? My favorite Nicki Minaj song is Chirac. I don't know. There's so many.
Yeah, that was a setup for a punchline on duct tape.
Would you like to do a song with Nicki Minaj or?
With Nicki Minaj, oh my God, I would. That's the thing. I would do like a song with almost like anybody who's like really good. You know what I mean? It's so funny. I've had people that are now really big in like 2012 who wanted to do songs with me, and I was like, no. Like Charlie XCX, I remember wanted to do a song with me, and I was like, I don't know. And like she's more of a pop star, but there have been people along the way that have like wanted to do something with me, and I'm like, I don't know.
Hip hop is the voice of people who don't have a voice, and which is supposed to represent all the type of minorities, and you're a mix of all the minorities. You're gay, you're black, you're Jewish, and why did the hip hop community don't accept you?
I understand why the hip hop community guards itself. In my opinion, the hip hop community guards itself because people who are involved in that community feel like it's their last kind of stronghold of like a traditional basically like men's club, you know what I mean? Like a traditional brotherhood. You know what I mean? And I understand that ideology because it comes from this feeling of you can't trust white America, okay? You can't trust like white business. You can't trust record labels. You can't trust companies, you know what I mean, who basically for years robbed so many hip hop artists out of money through like, you know, crazy contracts. And then at the heart of it, which is, this is the part that I think is fucked up though, is that I still think that like how women are treated in hip hop just, you know, completely mirrors like the same kind of like misogynist attitudes you find in like a lot of different societies in the world, you know what I mean? If they would allow, like, you know what I mean, women to have a prominent voice, or if they would allow gay men or lesbian women or basically things outside of this typical image of hip hop, that then what they had, you know, that last thing that they had to hold on to would be decimated. It would now be, you know, this like really fluid, like, you know, thing that they wouldn't know what to call hip-hop anymore, you know what I mean?
Right now, when you see Young Thug, he's wearing dresses, have nails just like you.
I would not consider like many of these like young rappers like homophobic, but then that's the thing, is that like they may not personally be homophobic, like they may like publicly not be homophobic, but like if someone were to ask them like, oh, would you do like a song with like a gay rapper, or like, oh, would you sign a gay artist to your label, then it would be a different conversation, you know what I mean?
Do you know that they voted for gay marriage in France?
Le projet de loi ouvrant le mariage et l'adoption aux couples homosexuels est enfin adopté par les députés après 136 heures de débat et des semaines de manifestations parfois violentes.
Oh, well, it's legal, right? No, it's not legal.
It's legal in France.
Legal, yeah.
It's called le mariage pour tous, marriage for everybody. And today, the health minister said that gay people could give their blood for...
I saw that.
You saw that?
On ne pourra plus refuser à un homosexuel de donner son sang au seul motif qu'il est homosexuel, dès lors qu'il n'y a pas eu ce type de relation pendant 1 an.
And I did not understand that. Do you understand that?
Well, I understand that. I mean, I understand that because I'm HIV positive. Globally now, you know, there are like 35 million people who are HIV positive. So that's a lot of people. So that's men, women, children, you know, that's underdeveloped countries, that's Western nations, that's developed countries. When it comes to these kinds of things, I'm not like an idealist. I'm a hardcore realist. When it comes to like giving blood transfusions or like giving blood, it's like you have to be smart. You have to think about which communities are hardest hit, okay, in an urban area or in a country. And oftentimes in the West, it is like, you know, it is the gay community. So while, yes, you have numbers of like straight people and straight women and men who now are HIV positive, still one of the most targeted communities is gay men. So I've never, to be completely honest, and this may shock certain people who are more liberal or progressive, I've never thought that was like a bad thing. Like I never thought that was prejudiced or didn't make sense, because it's reality. You know what I mean? That is reality. That's reality. As a doctor, I don't think it's your job to be liberal or progressive. It's to be a realist and to do what's like best for like the health of like the people that you're treating. You know?
Don't you think that it's a part of this old and crazy idea that HIV is only for gay people?
I have so many straight friends who never use condoms.
Really?
And yeah, I mean, hipsters don't use condoms. And it's just like really like, it's really bad, because I literally have had many friends and acquaintances who were heterosexual tell me, oh, yeah, I don't use condoms. And I'm like, how? Like, well, first of all, like, aren't you scared of like getting someone pregnant? You know, like, second of all, like, aren't you scared of like, I mean, there are other STDs you can get, you know what I mean? You know, there's other things you can get, you know, it's like, aren't you like afraid of that? I don't know. Especially in the urban areas, you know, like places like New York or London, you know, and it's just like, I just tell my friends, I'm like, hey, like, seriously, like, be careful, you know what I mean? Like, wake up, because like you are, like, just because like you're in this one circle of people, it's like, all you have to do is like meet someone outside that circle or who you don't know or who you don't know what people's pasts are, you know what I mean? We're like, in the last 2 years, there was like a small trend, and no one actually wrote about this, and it was gross. There was like a couple of rap lyrics, and I do not need to name the names of who they came from, but they were rap lyrics that basically boasted about like having sex with girls without using condoms. I got a girl, I ain't never got no fucking condoms. Like,
and to be proud of it.
It was like weird.
I be running in these hoes with no condom on, fucking.
So weird. It was really weird, and like No one wrote about it. No one wrote a think piece about it. No one commented about it. But it was like in 3 or 4 songs.
Does your audience pay attention when you say them to wear condoms and to be careful?
Well, basically, like in June, like I like kind of like publicly like came out as being HIV positive, and I did it for myself, you know, and like it was kind of one of those things where like I was super scared because
that really hurt me when you did that. When you said to tell it, I was like, this guy is really doing something that I never seen before to do it like this. And when you said that you're an emotional person. When you did that HIV announcement on Twitter, I was like, this guy is bigger than life, for real. I wanted to tell you that.
I even publicly said that I was leaving and quitting music. It's like, and people have asked me, you know, why did you say that? And I said, you know, the reason why I said it? I was so depressed. Like, you know, I was so because when you get to that point of being unhappy, it seems like, you know, there's no, you know, I felt basically like a prisoner of my life. And when you feel like you're a prisoner of your life, you feel like you have to escape it. And so then that's why I really came, you know, that's why I became public about my status, is because I thought I'm tired of being, you know, a prisoner of my own life. And I'm not even like a big celebrity. You know what I mean? So if I'm not like getting followed around by paparazzi and I feel like I'm a prisoner of my own life, I really need to fix something. Because, you know, it's like I haven't gotten to like that crazy level yet, you know, but it's like obviously like something has to be done about it. Now it's interesting. Now I play with the whole entire thing kind of like a politician, because I've realized something, and this actually is probably maturity. People, and especially with celebrity, the age of transparency that we live in now is so much so that, like, what don't we not know about someone now? As troubling as that sometimes can be, to a certain extent, now it's reshaped our notion of celebrity, and it's reshaped our notion it's reshaped kind of like this contemporary notion of, for a fan or for someone that admires you, for someone that likes you, it becomes, okay, well, now I know this about you. I knew that coming out publicly about being HIV positive, being the only people to like ever actually do it, which is crazy that I'm one of the only people to like ever actually do it in my position. But anyway, I knew that that was going to become a part of my narrative, you know. I knew that for the rest of my life, people are going to include that in my story. That's fine. Some people have sex tapes included in their story.
Actually, I'm telling you, I didn't want to talk about it. I was like, you talk about it from yourself.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not what defines your art.
Well, and that's the most exciting part of my career right now, because I did it on the precipice of, okay, like I said, it's like this year is the same year that I got signed. So now I'm going to be able to work in a way and at a level that I have not before. So one of the most exciting things for me is that rather than it being some like ugly secret or something, now it's like my ground zero. Like I said, it's like some celebrities have sex tapes, like some celebrities have like really, you know, awful scandals and things like that. I have this like health thing where, yeah, people are going to think about it and they're going to know about it, but now I have the ability, and actually I'm in a position to transcend that. You know what I mean?
In the US, I feel that racism is still there and is still growing and growing. What was the hardest for you? Was it to be black, to be Jewish, or to be gay?
It's like America for so long, I think, was able to consider itself like a post-racial society because like so many very deliberate and very public incidents and displays of like anti-discrimination and affirmative action and civil rights, you know, had taken place, you know. So, you know, no one, or I should say, you know, no, there definitely were educated people who were understanding that these institutionalized systems of racism were very much still in place. But I don't think that the general public at large were aware of just how these intricate systems, okay, kind of like work. In Europe, it's insanely institutionalized racism. because of aristocracy. And I've had conversations with both my European and non-native European friends who live in like France and England, and I often wonder, I'm like, you know, isn't no one questions that there's no one of color in parliament, or no one questions that there's like no one of color like in any government position, or you know, it's no one questions that like there's never been an immigrant elected, or you know, no one questions these things, and they're like, well, it's just that, you know, people take this stance of it being a national identity, you know what I mean? But obviously it's not a national identity, you know what I mean? There's obviously like an aristocracy in place that like prevents like anyone from outside of that aristocracy, you know, from entering into those positions.
What was the cruel thing that you heard about you, and when you've been touched and you were like, I don't deserve that?
Well, it happens. I mean, I think if you were to talk to a lot of like gay men and lesbian women, it happens from a very early age. People have called me a faggot since I was like 5 years old. I mean, this isn't like an uncommon thing. Like if you talk to an effeminate gay man who's been effeminate his entire life, there's like a long history of like other men and other people abusing that person because of their difference, or because of their gender difference. It's very common, you know what I mean? And that's why you have a lot of gay and lesbian people who grow up with very intense emotional traumas, or these things accumulate because people like, you know what I mean? Like these are traumas that people are like putting other people through by just, you know, sheer difference. So I've literally been called a faggot since I think second or third grade, like probably 6 or 7 years old.
But how do you react when you're a kid and you listen to that?
Well, as a kid, you kind of like just like, oh, you know, people are always saying things, you know, but then like through the years, it accumulates to this thing where you're like, okay, well, this is a difference, and like, well, since I can't hide this difference, I'm gonna like manifest it in a different way. And then, I think for different personality types, it manifests in a different way, you know what I mean? But then, you know, as I got older, it became this thing for me where I was just like, oh, well, most of the most interesting and talented people in the world are gay. And even though like all of these straight people are always trying to like pretend like that isn't so, like actually like most of the best artists, like most of the best writers, filmmakers, people who have actually genuinely like contributed something to society are usually homosexual. And so it's like, you know, I always took a lot of like pride in that. And then, you know, you just learn different things. I mean, people oftentimes try to like rewrite history to like make someone like not gay or this or that. And then, you know, luckily I was raised with two really spiritual parents who aren't really very religious, but are very spiritual. So it's like, I never grew up with any kind of like weird ideas about homosexuality via like religion. Because
and your dad is Jewish?
Yeah, my father is Jewish. Yeah.
And right now he's a medium.
He always was, but I didn't know that. I guess he was. Other people have known. I didn't know, but now that is what he does full time. Yeah, now full time he is a psychic.
And what was he telling you when you was a kid? Did he saw what was going to happen to you?
No, I don't know. I don't know. You know why I say and I think maybe no, because I think I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but I think he like fought his like being a psychic for many years. I think he did it for a little bit, and then I think people were too freaked out by it, and I think that he like, I honestly don't think that I don't think he actively used it for years, to be honest, because
he was scared about his power.
I think so, because I never knew that growing. I found out like very late. I found out when I was like 16 or 17, like and it was because some woman came up to him at like a family function and asked him if she could do a reading, and I was like, what does that woman want you to do for her? Like, what is a reading? What do you mean? And he told me, and then still even for years, you know, then it's like, let me put it like this. I like, he used to always meditate. Like, I grew up with him meditating. I grew up with him always being very spiritual, but he like never ever talked about psychic stuff. Never. So the fact that he's like a full-time psychic now, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not strange because like it makes sense, but like it's just like I didn't grow up with him like being psychic, you know.
What can I wish you for the next 5 years?
What would I want you to wish me?
Yeah.
That I remain a forgiving person.
I wish you that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.